So in 1955, the president of Peru. No, I'm just joking. I have no idea what happened in 1955.
I was paying attention. What's new in what was it? 1995?
I have no idea what happened
in Peru, man. Oh my
I
god.
have no idea who the president of Peru was in 1955. So I was just joking.
Talking about working, I changed the job this year, right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh yeah, congratulations.
Oh, you didn't know? I was working with you. We were working together.
Wait, he was working with us? When?
Last year.
He was?
Congratulations.
Last year.
He used to work with us?
Interesting.
What did he used to do for us?
I thought you remember.
Wait, seriously, he used to work with us?
Yeah.
How long ago was it?
He worked with us for
You remember
2 years.
when I was miserable in life?
Yeah.
That's the time.
I don't remember.
So guys, yes.
I have no memory of this place. Anyway, so yes. Speaking of work, what time do you get to work in the morning?
I start at 8:30.
8:30. And you? Oh, so
11.
11. Good.
Yeah, we start together. But you're always in the office. Like,
I have this very bad habit where I'm usually at my desk 7:10, 7:15 a.m. And I leave maybe at 6 p.m. It's a horrible habit.
yeah.
Our jobs are supposed to be 8:30 to 5:30. 8 to 5, basically.
Yeah.
And here comes the problem with the 8 to 5. So story time. Back to what I was saying. In the late 1800s, American trade unions started this thing where they were pressuring employers to have an 8-hour working day, a 40-hour working week. And then, so you have 5 days of work, 2 days of the weekend to rest. And then every day you work for 8 hours. Based on this very arbitrary theory that you work for 8 hours, you sleep for 8 hours, and then you do other things for 8 hours. 24 hours a day. It's a very odd theory that someone came up with. And then in the 1920s, Henry Ford adopted the thing. He was most likely influenced by the trade unions. And then because Henry Ford was this very important human being, he was the Elon Musk of his day.
Yeah.
Because he instituted the 8-hour working day for his employees, it spread and became a global thing. So now we all work 8 hours. But is it really something that's relevant today?
Tell me the last time you worked 8 hours. Okay,
I
tell me
don't
the
know.
last time
Probably every year, maybe twice a year, I work actually 8 hours.
Yeah, tell me, like, we mostly work more than 8 hours, right? That's
And it's a lot worse when I'm working from home.
Yeah, true.
I get to my desk I wake up at 6:15 a.m. I'm at my desk at 7 a.m. And I shut down my PC maybe at 6:30, 7 p.m. So 12 hours or thereabouts, I am sitting at my desk.
No. Now, working more is rewarded. You get overtime and all that. But tell me, if you left office or if you left your workplace 5 minutes early, what happens?
You have a problem.
Yeah.
HR is calling you tomorrow.
I mean, like, how does that work?
For me, if I do that, I literally get a notification in my email the next day.
Yeah. So, and thank you for explaining how this 8-hour thing came to be. But do we ever get 8 hours work, and then do we get this 8 hours to do whatever we like in our life?
No,
We
you
never
don't.
get that.
Never.
And here's another problem. So back in the day, working 8 hours sort of made sense. Why? Because if there was a family, 99.99999% of the time, the man would go to work and his wife would stay home. His wife would stay home and work at home because cleaning, taking care of kids, that's the job.
Yeah.
This guy would be at the employment also doing his job. So when the guy came back home in the evening, there would be food ready because there was someone at home. But the way everything is set up now, if you're married, most likely both of you are going to work. You're doing an 8 to 5. So when you come home in the evening, both of you are equally tired, but there's no food.
Yeah.
Both of you are equally tired, but there's laundry.
Yeah.
Both of you are equally tired, but there are errands to be run. So then your week is completely occupied, and then on the weekend, that's when you do the things that you should have been doing during the week if someone was staying at home. So now you're not really resting. You spend your entire week working, and then you spend your entire weekend doing the things that should be taking care of you. So that's the problem. And this is why I think in the time that we live in, an 8 to 5 just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
We should be working 6-hour days at the maximum.
Correct. See, for me, I start my duty at 11 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
But again, in night, for me, I would like always to do my report before I sleep.
Yeah.
So I work 8 hours.
Yeah.
Then I go home. I do whatever I do in 3-4 hours. I play some games, and then before I sleep, then that's the time where I like to take my laptop and do the report. And again, you fall asleep very tired, and then you wake up again in the morning, do the same thing. So the only thing which I hate is this maybe mentality or this culture in work where you need to log in time and log out in time. I wish this was not there at all, because waking up, we are going to work. So whenever you wake up, just go.
I think that depends on the job you do and the industry and the employer. For example, for my job, I have flexible login and leaving times. I can show up to work anytime from 7:30 a.m. to 9:30. Like, as long as I show up between this time, no one is going to ask anything. If I show up at 7:30, in theory, I could leave at 4:30 if I wanted. The problem is, what will someone else think? If you leave at 4:30, there'll always be that 1-2 people who look at you like you haven't done something. So the problem that you're pointing out is people tend to equate hours with productivity. Sitting at your desk for 12 hours doesn't mean you're productive. It just means you are sitting there for 12 hours.
Yeah.
There are some people who could sit at their desks for 6 hours and their output is way higher than someone who was at their desk for 12 hours.
Correct.
So I think they should judge it based on productivity, not based on the number of hours you do. So fortunately, I happen to work for a guy who looks at it in terms of productivity. He doesn't care how many hours you sit at your desk. Like, if he sees you at your desk, fine. If he doesn't see you there, fine. He doesn't care. All he cares about is, there was this thing that needed to be done by this time. Was it done? Yes. Were the results good? Yes. Okay, good.
Done.
If the results are not good and not delivered when they're supposed to be delivered, then he will ask questions. But the rest of the time, he just doesn't care what you do.
The bigger problem is humans are not supposed to work for 8 hours just so you can enjoy 2 days. I mean, you work for 5 days to make someone rich and make someone else rich. And you have to be happy that they're giving you the chance. And then you rest for 2 days. I'm not saying it's certain company or it's this company or that company.
It's a global
a global thing. And it has become so normalized, we don't understand that this is wrong. We are animals, right? We were never supposed to do this. Work for 5 days just so you can spend these 2 days alone and happy.
Forget alone now. Think about people who have families. Especially young families. You just have children who are maybe, children who are growing up. Both parents are going to work. Which means you leave your house maybe at 7 a.m. Your kids are probably sleeping. So in the morning, you don't see them. You come back in the evening, probably at 6, 7. Either your kids are just about to go to bed or they're sleeping already. So again, you see them for a maximum of 1 hour in the evening.
Correct.
So this goes on from when your kids are born up until when they're 18 years old. And then you realize you're living in the house with a total stranger. Like, you have no idea who these kids are. The weekends, you don't have time to spend with them. You have time to, run, go pay some bills, do laundry. You don't even have time to do anything with the kids. Because you're so busy. Either you're working or you are running errands. So really, 2 days is just not enough. I mean,
my country, for example, people maximum they finish work at 5 p.m.
Oh yeah, so it's also a culture.
So all the companies, there is no night shift. Literally, there is no night shift except like a supermarket or these shops. But like a company, for example, or a government company, or let's say a private company for someone, maximum 5-4. and people definitely tends to log in late and log out early. So, but the point where I'm going to is, if it is a cultural thing that people finished at, let's say, 5 p.m. maximum, you reach home, let's say, by 6. So you have that time from 6 to 9 to 10 p.m. where you sit with your family, you sit with your kids, and maybe you prepare and you eat healthy food.
And there's also another phenomenon, I can't remember the name of it, where nowadays, because we get to work, we get after work in the evening, people tend to go to bed really late.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're trying to compensate for the time you lost. Because during the day while you're at work, you have no control. You cannot do anything for yourself. You're at work. So in the evening when you go home, in your brain, you're trying to recover that time you've lost.
Yeah.
So you end up going to bed late because you're trying to spend more time with yourself.
Yeah.
This is why you find people leaving their jobs at 6 in the evening, and then they play their video games until 2 a.m. They go to bed at 3 a.m. and then again they have to wake up at 7 a.m. So that, they're in this perpetual cycle of just being tired. All the time they're just tired. And you have no time for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's the human body, and it's just it gets weakened. But I was just googling something I wanted to share. Sweden, they're moving officially to a 6-hour work day.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, because 6 hours, that sounds reasonable. Yeah, you work for 6 hours and then you have enough time to go home and enjoy with your family. So if the whole world can do this, it will be better.
Yeah,
it will be a good thing.
Yeah.
And the productivity went up by doing that. So they did this experiment, I remember, like 3-4 years ago. Sweden did it, Japan did it. Everywhere the results were the same. Whatever you get done in 8 hours, you can do it in 6 hours, and the productivity was faster because people were happier, they were healthier because they get to spend more time, free time, I mean. So if every company or if every country can do this, that will be amazing.
But the Japanese are notorious for spending extremely long hours at work.
Yes, and the government realizes that, so that's why they were trying this. They don't want this because Japan has the highest suicide rates. Yeah. So mostly because of work-related stress.
Forget suicide rates.
Yeah.
It has the highest rates of people who just drop dead.
Yeah.
From overworking.
Correct. Yeah.
Like you just literally work until you die.
Yeah. So
and there are these famous photos online of people who are collapsed, like on subways.
Yeah.
Like leaving work in the evening, you're so tired, you literally just fall asleep on the sidewalk.
Correct.
So it's
they fall asleep everywhere, in metro, in bus. You see
it's this thing we call wage slavery. It's basically it's a glorified form of slavery. Because you're chained to this desk, and there's nothing else you can do, and you have zero freedom to do anything except the job. And the pay, is it worth the loss that you're sustaining? I mean, are you getting paid enough to sacrifice seeing your children grow? Are you getting paid enough to sacrifice you having your own personal time and developing other things? Like, I've been singing to myself since forever that I want to learn some skills. I just don't have the time for it. When I get home in the evening and I start my PC and I look at it, and I'm like, you know what, man, this can wait. Then on the weekend, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, you know what, let me do my laundry. Let me go get some groceries. Let me do this. By the time you look at your watch, it's 5 p.m. Let me just sleep. You can't do nothing really.
And another big problem is how this technology, we are always reachable, right? So you finish work at 5:30 and you're like, oh, happy. Shut down your PC, and then you get a call from someone at around 6 o'clock. No respect for your timing. No respect. I mean, no respect. If you respect the other person, okay, he gets off work at this time, you don't disturb them. I mean, come on. That's
the thing
wrong.
that annoys me most is when someone calls me when I'm driving home.
Right, you see?
I get so annoyed by it.
Yeah.
And the problem is now, my phone is connected to my car, so I'm listening to my music driving home, and then it stops, and I'm like, oh no, please just don't. And then someone is on the phone, Ronald, I'm like, why? Why are you calling me at this time? Just leave me alone. And again, another thing about my manager, he has this thing, we were literally talking about it with him yesterday, where he says, if someone is on leave, you don't call them.
Yeah. Oh,
and
man.
he gets upset. If you call someone who's on leave, he literally gets upset. He's like, why are you calling someone when they're not supposed to be working?
Yeah.
So this is how companies are supposed to run.
Right.
Your time is your time. The company's time that they pay you for, you spend it 100% for them. So then let it stay like that. Let those two be separated.
Yeah.
But working 8 hours for 5 days a week, it makes zero sense.
Yeah.
I don't agree. Let's work 4 days a week, 6 hours. No, this is optimal. Seriously.
Yeah.
24 hours a week.
I'd love that.
Makes sense.
And I mean, we can't change the system, but what we can change is we can, if you're someone who's watching us who manages a team,
Yeah, you could
respect your
try.
times team, and like I don't manage a team, but the thing that I can do is I can stop disturbing people after their work hours.
Yeah.
So
I try to.
I try to.
I
Me
try to, and anyone that reports to me
Yeah.
knows that if I ever call them before or after they're supposed to be working,
Yeah.
first thing I do is apologize.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
only do it if I really, really absolutely have to.
Correct.
Exactly.
Otherwise,
That's the point.
otherwise I don't.
You do it only when
If
you
it's
have really to do
absolutely
it.
necessary and I have no other option, then I'll call. But first thing I always do is like, sincerely, apologies for doing this. Let's make this quick so you can go back to whatever you're doing.
Yeah, for me, this is the most annoying thing now. I mean, I receive calls after work. I receive calls in weekends. I receive calls in
Don't
night.
pick.
Yeah.
I really like yesterday I received a call at 12:30 a.m.
Someone who's calling you at 12:30 is just plain disrespectful.
Yeah,
That's just plain disrespect. Why would you call me at 12?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be asleep at 12. Even if I'm not asleep, it's not your time. Why are you calling me?
yeah,
This is why I have, at any one time, I always have 2 phones. And I intentionally make sure one is my work number, which I only give to my colleagues. The other one is my personal number, which I give to people who I have more of a relationship than just work. If anyone calls me on my work phone when I'm not working, I can intentionally ignore it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I won't feel bad about it.
yeah.
But my personal number, if someone calls, I'm going to pick.
Yeah.
And this is why I get so upset when anyone gives my personal number to anyone without first asking me. So simple as that.
True.
If you own a company, if you manage a team, just don't turn your people into slaves.
Of course.
Simple.
But managers, people who manage a team or who have a company, let's say someone who have a private company,
Yeah.
they would work more hours than others.
No.
They do.
I remember our company president, he used to show up at 8, leave at 5:30.
Yeah,
And
but
he would
that's-
do that every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you mean is like if you own the company.
Yeah, if I own a company, I will definitely work then more than anyone.
Yeah. So you're working for yourself. Like this video,
Yeah.
like this thing that we are doing, this is not our job, but we
Yeah.
enjoy doing it.
Yeah, so we are doing
Exactly,
it at our
that's the
own
point.
time.
That's the point.
But then again, you see, this wouldn't be possible if we were stuck with jobs where you don't have any free time.
Right. Yeah.
So to develop some things like this,
Yeah.
to become an artist, a painter, to grow some plants, whatever it is you want to do, you can only do that if you have the time for it.
Yeah.
Correct.
If your job is draining you to death, you don't have time for that. So luckily we have a job that gives us a bit of time on the side where we can do things like this.
Yeah.
Before ending on a bright note,
Yeah.
I saw many people on Reddit who's because of the pandemic,
Yeah.
who either lost their jobs or who started working from home.
Mm-hmm.
The things they have created, like art, music, and all that they're posting, and the only reason that they can do this is because of the pandemic. Because either they lost their job, which they were putting everything, or they started working from home, where they get to have a little bit of free time. You're not stuck in traffic and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because of this, people started creating stuff, amazing stuff. So if this trend continues, that's something positive that we got from 2020's pandemic.
If there's one positive thing we can look at, that would be one of them. And by the way, the only thing I love about working from home is that I don't have to drive to and from work.
Right? Getting stuck in that.
I wake up in the morning and I'm like, nope, you're driving today. And I'm like, very good.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it, gentlemen.
Cool.
This is not a job. This is just a video we are recording.
Yeah.
And liking and subscribing is also not a job. You can do that without. You don't have to do a 9 to 5. Just like, subscribe, share,
Yeah.
and catch you on the next one.
See you next time.
All right.